Hey, it's Marthea Pitts, the MSW coach. And I gotta admit, I think I waited a little late in the day. Well, I know why my energy is a little low. I've been career coaching this morning, and it's a lot to pour into other people. And so had a one-on-one career strategy session because in honor of Social Work Month last month, I had 10 available slots for 60-minute one-on-one career coaching sessions. And I had one of those sessions today. I actually have three left out of those 10. If you are interested in working with me one-on-one, um, how can you get to me? Email me at mp@martheapitts.com, my full name. Um, yeah, you can email me. But yeah, I have three more slots of those, but in those sessions, I'm helping people create a 30-day career action plan to tackle their top two pressing career needs. And so today I had one of those sessions, and it takes a lot. That's why I don't do one-on-one coaching, because one-on-one coaching is a lot. It's the equivalent of like case management work. It's very hard. It takes a lot out of you mentally, physically, emotionally. So that's why I have my group career coaching program. That way I can sustain my energy so I'm able to serve more people. But yeah, I had a really great session today with someone, and people are getting wins from their strategy sessions. Uh, Specifically one social worker, she was the very first one to schedule her session. And that was 2 weeks ago on a Monday when we met for her career strategy session. And she has applied to numerous macro jobs because she keeps me updated now that she knows how to find them, because I taught her how to find the ones that align with what she wants to do. I helped her with a few different things. I helped her with the two pressing issues, which was career clarity about what does she want to do in the macro space, because what you want to do as a macro social worker, even if you're not a social worker, I work with non-social workers too. You don't have to be married to what you've done in your past career life to do change making work, right? That's why you have to work with me as your career coach. I will help you uncover what experiences you have that are valuable outside of like the spaces where you worked before. So this specific person had a heavy, heavy background in medical social work. She wanted to do more impactful work. So I helped her get clarity around what that looks like. How can we blend elements of what she loves to do in her personal life into her actual career? She's been hitting apply nonstop. She hit apply to the first job less than 24 hours after we met. She actually just messaged me on Instagram. She is using the strategies. She is hitting the ground running. And that's the design of the 30-day action plan framework that I've created. It gets people wins. If you do the work, it gets you wins. But anyway, so like if you're interested in that, I do have three more spots. Yeah, three more spots available. And then after that, that offer is going back in the vault. Marthea is not doing one-on-one coaching. I don't do one-on-one coaching. I do group work, right? But yeah, if you want to work one-on-one with me, that's a special opportunity. Last time I offered something like that was last year, August 2023. Yeah, but people get wins from it. So I wanted to come on and talk about it. Let me get myself together. Because also later today, I have a series that I'm doing for the month of April with an organization that I have worked with in the past. Again, I don't just work with social workers, I work with other people as well. So I am doing a career development series with a state organization, like an organization that's based in Florida, but they have sites all around the country. I'm doing a presentation to one of their groups starting tonight with the participants in that program. And so the director of the program called me today, which is someone that I know from my past work life as a case manager. I actually met them when I worked in the Workforce Development Center. And so she was just checking in and making certain that I had all of the logistical things that I needed to log in for the session tonight. But she told me, she was like, Marthea, I just want to tell you how impactful your work is. I was like, what happened? And she was like, I told the participants, the ladies, that, weeks in advance that we'll be doing it tonight. And she said one of the participants says they know you from when you worked on the South Side and at Career Source, which was the American Job Center that I worked in as a career counselor. That's where I saw all of the glaring inequities in the Workforce Development Center, which made me dedicate my career to systems level work. But anyway, she said that the person was like, I know Miss Pitts. She is a wonderful person. She really helped me out a lot. And she used to be over the orientation sessions for the welfare transition program. Yep, yep, that's me. So I'm excited to see some familiar faces tonight. And that always makes my heart smile when I am out and about in the community, or just the fact that my professional brand is so strong that people still remember me years later. You know how many years ago that was? That was almost 5 years ago. And so even my former colleague, she was like, Marthea, your work is impactful. She was like, people still remember you. It's just like I met a lady the end of last year when I spoke at a event. I was asked to give a keynote around about parenting and like how I managed to uh, be a parent, that got a whole human through childhood, young adulthood. She's now graduated from college, all of the things. And that was an invite from another one of my former colleagues from in that same period of time. I worked with that person in the actual center. But at that event, there was a woman there who knew me from my work on the South Side at the Workforce Development Center. And she ran over to where I was and was like, Miss Pitts. I was looking down eating my food because by that time we were in the banquet part of the I was eating my because one of my other coworkers from that same job had who I hadn't seen in years, but since then she started a catering business. She had catered her food, and I had been wanting to try her food for years. I just never was able to get to where she was. So she was catering the event, and I was knee deep into a piece of cornbread. Don't tell my trainer. When the lady came up to me and was like, Miss Pitts. And anytime people say Miss Pitts, they know me from the South Side. They know me from my workforce development career counselor days. They are part of my why. And I looked up and I was like, yes. And because, when you are a case manager, you see so many faces you don't remember, unless like it was a certain situation. And she went on and tell me about how grateful she was for the help, the support that I provided to her when she came into the career center, and how, as a result of it, she ended up getting like a leadership role where she was making the most money she ever made. She bought a home, she got married. Her children, who are now adults, went on because I was there almost 6 years. So this is a total of the last 10 years of life. So she was like, my sons are doing well. One is a medical doctor and some other stuff and some other stuff. The other one is in the military, like wonderful things. So to have my former colleague say that to me this morning, I was like, okay, girl. So sometimes it's like, okay. Because I don't think about it. But I know that because what I did in that position is essentially just teaching the people what I had to learn and navigate my own career. It was nothing I learned in training in that program. It was none of that. It was just me using the strategies that I had to learn to navigate my own life as a young mom, a young houseless mom, a mom with no social capital and support. Like I just had to get creative in my own career. So I just started teaching other people how to do the things. And I've gone through a lot of trial and error. I've, been there with just only having a high school diploma. I understand the plight. So I really served my people from the place of I've been there, done all of that, right? I always tell people like I have seen a lot and done a lot. And like my therapist told me the other day, he was like, You really truly are he didn't use the word amazing, but he was like, you really truly have a lot to celebrate. He was like, you have overcome a lot and never stopped. And he was like, people would not be able to handle 2% of what you have seen, done, and overcome in your life. He was like, people crumble, right? Because life is hard. People crumble with a lot less. And he said, you still keep going. I'm thinking like I can't stop. Like I told my friend earlier today because I was telling her that I said, I can't stop. Where I'm gonna go? I have to eat. I had a child to take care of. Still do. My child is a young adult. I know some parents believe like, oh, your child is 18, put them out. Not my child. I am still her mother because I feel like we don't become grown until you hit 35. I didn't really start feeling like an adult until I turned 35. So anyway, that's just a little, history into what I've been doing today. So after we get off this podcast episode, I need to like start switching gears to build my energy back up for the session this afternoon. Plus I have a session with my own coach. Oh yeah, energy is running low. Okay. But I'll find it because y'all know once I start talking about jobs, it's on. So I have my paper here today about what I want to talk about today because I wrote it down before I started the career strategy session earlier. And I want to talk about the fact that people will hate you just because of the way others love you. Let me repeat that. I missed the word. People will hate you just because of the way others love you. And so, just a quick story time. This is something that I had to learn recently, not real recent, like in the last 4 or 5 years. It was something I had been hearing um, in regards to like a familial relationship that I have with someone. I won't name who the person is, but a familial relationship that I have with someone. I have been hearing for years, I would say the last 20 years from people about like that person is jealous of you. And I will always be very dismissive of it. And I was like, no, how could they be jealous of me? I am their blood. I am their relative, right? We are very close relatives. I'll just leave it at that. It's like, no, that's not humanly possible. I even had friends of mine well, associates rather, people that I knew, let's say it like that, people that I knew who had very clinical backgrounds, people who I trusted when it came to clinical level work, right? Even tell me one time, and we all and got in like this whole heated discussion about the thing around how these types of familial relationships, it's not uncommon for it to be like a jealousy type thing where that person is jealous of the other one, right? And I remember saying, that's not possible. That's not, I don't believe it. Whatever. Nah, that can't be true. Right. And so I share that because over the last 10 to 12 years, I've been doing a lot of self-discovery work, like because I always knew that my work was going to be big. What it's going to be, I don't know. I still don't know. I just do what I am told to do. Right. But I always knew that I was called to do much bigger work. So with that, I started like 12 years ago, um, doing a lot of self-discovery work to figure out who I was, what I needed in life, the things that I liked, right? Because I went from my mom's house to being on my own for just a few short years before becoming someone's parent. But even in those few short years, I was in a relationship. So I went from always being something or being under someone else's like situation, and I never had time. I always was something to someone. That's a better way to explain it. So in preparation for me becoming an empty nester, I was like, I'm going to start because I'm a planner. So I get on here talking to y'all about career plans. I am a planner. AKA I gotta control stuff, which I'm working on, right? But you still need a plan. You need a plan for everything. That's how people win. They have plans for everything, but also be open and understand that your plans will change because life will happen. But anyway, so in preparation for my daughter graduating high school, I started somewhere like in when she was in eighth grade, ninth grade, doing a lot of things to figure out who I am, what I like, what I wanted, all of the things. And so with that work, I began to like go down my checklist of things that I needed to resolve in my life, right? And so that could look like just some examples, my relationship with money, um, my relationship with family members, my love of myself, being okay with being by myself because I had always been in a relationship, like being okay with being by myself, being okay with showing up bigger in the world. That was a large chunk of the things I needed to resolve in my life, right? So that's how I when I got leadership coaching and started working on different things and all of the things. So I had like a checklist of things that I needed to resolve in my life and address for once and for all, instead of like, because I could never focus on the thing because I was too busy being something to somebody else, right? Being a mother, being a daughter, being a sister, being a lover, being a friend, being, whatever the thing. And so as I began to work through the stuff, none of this happened in one day. Heck, it didn't even happen in 2 years. It took years. But as I began to work through the stuff, the last thing that I came to, one of the last things, was the fact that I needed to resolve this, whatever it was with this other person in my family, right? And so after a lot of deep, 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 deep self-reflection, um, a lot of talking it out, right? I'm trying to think, was I working with my therapist then? Probably was. I had two different therapists last year. Yeah, for two different types of things. A lot of talking it through, but a lot of it was more self-reflection. And so what I discovered, because Marthea easily identifies patterns and things, right? It only take me a few seconds to pick up on how you operate, right? Or to pick up on a pattern, and then I adjust accordingly. I move around. We ain't gonna have, I easily pick up on the things. What I realized was that there was a theme, a pattern when it came to this person in my familial life, right? Family life, where this person would lash out at me, um, basically spewing their disdain for me. They never worded it that, but I'm saying it that way so y'all can understand. This person will lash out at me very aggressively, never like physical, but it was always verbal. And it was clear like a disdain there because they were so just, it was so anger filled, right? It was coming from a deep, deep, deep place, almost like a deep hurt place, right? This person will always lash out to me, at me, when others were celebrating me, right? So what that will look like is if someone in my family member, another family member was like, oh, Marthea is really good at blah, blah, blah. They would be like, no, she is not. And da 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 da. Right? They would do that publicly, and they would do it when I would be by myself. They would do it even when I wasn't there with them, right? They would badmouth me. It even went so far that there was a situation that they told me about where some people, a group of people, I'm not gonna name who, where I live, knew of my professional brand because I told y'all my professional brand is very strong. People know about my quality of work. People know about what I'm good at and what I do really, really well, right? So people that knew about my professional brand, somehow I came up in the conversation and somehow the discovery connection was made that this person is related to me. That person then tells me that they go on, the people they're talking to, and like celebrating me and acknowledging how stellar I am and good I am at what I do, right? And this family member of mine went on to say, no, she is not. She is da 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 da. To colleagues of mine. These ain't my friends. These ain't people that I'm in a, friendly relate. They're my working colleagues, right? I never worked with them, but I have working relationships with them. So, and then they told me that, right? So it was a few series of events because again, I'm freeing up my things to do list. Now I have more time to focus on where did the breakdown in this relationship happen? And what do we need to do to get back on track? I have been spending my years trying to figure this out, me doing my work, doing your deeper work. I always talk to y'all about it because I knew that this relationship was holding me back. This unresolved relationship was holding me back in other areas of my life. It was holding me back from moving forward in the many different ways. I'm not going to get into it. So after a lot of deep reflection, I identified a theme. This person physically, like verbally lashes out at me when others are celebrating me, when other people are gratifying me, when other people are uplifting me, acknowledging me, stating good things about me, right? This person always physically, verbally lashes out at me. And that's when I realized that the things that people had been telling me for the whole 20 years prior to that was true. That, and I still don't like using the word jealous. I don't use it. Other people use it. I don't use it. But what I realize is that this person hates me because of the way other people love me. And that all the last 20 years that I really was in prison trying to figure out why are they this way to me? Why don't they love me? Why don't they support me? Why do I feel like they hate me? Not even feel, but why do they act like they hate me? And I realized that me trying to figure that out was not my job. And I freed myself from that, right? Um, I freed myself from that. And so I really wanted to come on and share that to say for you that you most likely are going through something similar or have experienced something similar or know of someone who's experiencing something similar. And the one thing that I wanted to say was that you are not imagining the thing. It is very much real, right? Because for me, a long time, I would say in my early 20s, I felt like it was me. Like I was imagining the thing, especially because I would bring my concerns. And I didn't have all the words back then as a young adult, but I would bring my concerns in a way that I was comfortable with to other family members and only family members. And they would be very dismissive of the thing. Oh, no, that's not true. They love you. Like, well, if they love me, why do they do this to me repeatedly, right? But when I would bring those same concerns, like just venting to friends who knew me, people who knew me outside of my family, they would always be like, they are jealous of you. I saw that years ago, right? Marthea, they are jealous of you. Right. So um I want to say like if you're experiencing that, it's nothing that you're making up. And I want you to understand that your people pleasing ways will probably keep you stuck in trying to figure out how can you make them like you. It's not your job to make them like you. Their disdain for you, unless you like hurt them grievously, is not your concern. I've never hurt this person. I've never done anything to this person. I, truth be told, they have done more harm to me than good as an adult. I've never hurt them. I've only loved them. So in situations like that, I just wanted to say, one, that you're not making it up, that you're not like, is this real? Because a lot of times I used to feel like I was being punked. Right? Am I being punked? Am I on camera? Why is it? We over here talking about celebrating the birthday. why are you talking about something that happened 2 years ago? Right? You're not making it up. They hate you because of the way others love you. Let me write that down. That's what I'm going to title this. Y'all know, I want to make it short like that in the title. Y'all know I do not edit my podcast. This is a conversation. We're chatting today. But they hate you because of the way others love you. And when I realized that, I quickly realized how I've seen that in other relationships, right? With non-family members, where I was super, super cool with someone who I considered to be my friend. And then all of a sudden, next thing I know, they don't deal with me. They don't talk to me. I'm spending months, even years trying to figure out, well, what happened? Sending them messages like, what's going on? Are you okay? Do you need support on anything? Taking them out to eat, asking, did I do something wrong to offend you? Uh, Again, all against my better judgment, but I was doing it because the people told me to do it. See, Marthea is the type of person is you got one time. You got one time. Now I give people two times. But lately I've been giving people two times and they've been cutting up. So I'm going back to my original. You got one time to mishandle me and I will exit stage left. But the times where people are like, oh, you should go, where they make you feel like you're pretending, like you making up the thing, like, oh, that's not really true. They could never do that, right? The times that I've done it against my discernment, my own better judgment has always resulted horribly, where the person in your face, it pretends like they have no idea what's going on. But later, now that I've gone through this work, I realized that it was the same dynamics going on here. They they begin to hate me because others begin to love me, right? And it was because I was getting bigger. And I'm not talking about bigger like y'all on here watching my video, bigger in my internal confidence was getting bigger. I went through a lot of changes with that friendship that I'm talking about. I had lost almost like 100 pounds. And I became the center of attention. Whereas before I was more like in the supporting role, right? So it's like, what? Now everybody on you. You're not just here to make me look good, right? So I say that to say that people hate you because of the way others love you. And you have to, when you pick up on those things and you recognize and you're paying attention to the context clues, take it for what it is and remove yourself, because you do more harm than good for your self-worth trying to sit there and try to make them like you. Your people-pleasing ways are going to make them want to make you your people-pleasing ways will make you want to make them like you. But when they hate you, it's nothing you can do but pray for them, wish them well, and forgive them, right? That's something that I've been practicing. I pre-forgive and forgive others easily. That's a daily affirmation of mine, because people are going to mishandle you. They just are, because you're so special. They don't know what to do with you. I heard last night in Bible study around, you are just so big that people can't take all of you in. And that's so true. Everybody won't be able to handle you. And you have to get to a place where you can pre-forgive and forgive them easily, because they're going to do something to mishandle you. Because if you don't pre-forgive or forgive them easily, you get stuck in the hurt, the pain, the rejection of them mishandling you. And that keeps you stuck in your life as a whole. So I encourage you today to, one, understand why they hate you. It's nothing that you did wrong. It's nothing wrong with you. It's that they hate how others love you, and it's ultimately because they see the bigness in you, right? They see that you inspire others. They see that you shine bright like a light. That's what I always say. That was my goal back then. And this is when the people close to me started lashing out at me. My goal back then, when I started my self-discovery work, is that I used to tell myself every morning, one of my morning affirmations were prayers. I call them prayers. I don't really call them affirmations. Was that I want to shine so bright everywhere I go. I used to say that prayer over me and my daughter every morning. Lord, let us shine so bright that the people have to leave the room, right? Because we are just that happy. We're just that whole. We're just that healed. We're just that everything, right? So when I began to do that work, that inner work, and I started to shine bigger, she's not insecure, Marthea. She ain't quiet. She ain't over there introverted, shy. Oh, you showing up and you showing up big. Yeah, because I got big work to do. God told me a long time ago I had something bigger to do. What it is, I don't know. But when you start showing up like that and you start doing your internal work, people will lash out at you. And what the thing is with that family relationship, the person saw my light before I ever saw it. That's why they had been lashing out at me for 20 plus years. They saw the light, and that's usually how it works. People see your bigness, and I use the word bigness. Like people see your bigness before you see it. People see your greatness in you before you even see it. So the thing was, that person in my family saw it probably when I was a little kid, right? But as an adult, a young adult, they saw it even more, right? And for whatever reason, they can't stand it. It's so bright. It's so bright that they don't understand why it's her. Why is it her? Why does it have to be her? So then that whole maybe being inspired a little bit, or maybe more so being intrigued a little bit over time because they can't figure you out, turns into hate. I hate her. What did she do to you? Oh, nothing. I just don't like the way she be talking and moving. I don't, and it's really, they don't like the way others love you. They don't like the way others support you. They don't like the way others talk well of you. They don't like that others have good experiences with you. But the reason they've never had a good experience with you is because they hated you so in the beginning that they wouldn't even allow themselves to get in contact with you, get close to you. So I'm gonna end there because I don't know how long I've been going. I ain't timed this, but they hate you because of the way others love you. So stop internalizing it. Stop trying to understand it. Free yourself from the thing. Forgive them. Forgive them. What I say, you can believe in whatever you want to believe. My prayer is I forgive and forgive others, Lord, because they know not what they do. They don't even know why they mad. They don't even know why they on your page, stalking your posts and cheer and reveling in what they feel is a loss for you. They don't even understand why they're being called to that. But ultimately it's because they low key, not low key, they're high key inspired by you. And they don't understand why they can't take their eye off of you. It's because of that light. They're drawn to it, just like everybody else. And the light comes from doing your internal work. So do your work and they gonna hate. Like somebody told me on the internet, she in the comments, she was like, girl, they hated Jesus. I said, what? You is right. So who am I? Who am I? But free yourself from that. All right. I'll talk to y'all next time. Bye.